Hello and welcome to another edition of Tales from the Interface Live. My name is Emmanuel and I will be drawing live in front of you for the next hour. A little bit late this morning. I will be starting right away. Let me share my screen. So today, let me go back. So last week, I finally finished the color blocking for my comic. So this is the newest chapter, and I just finished color blocking 24 pages. So now what I'm doing is really putting the shadows, and I kind of went a little bit further on the first page here. I can show you. So I put a little bit of gradients and the shadows. So I think it turned out pretty good. I still might retouch it, but I think I'm gonna leave it like that for now. And I'm going to continue on the next page. So feel free to comment and ask me any question you want. I'm here for you. So if you're wondering about anything about the process, anything at all, just ask. And also last week I decided to change this last panel here, which was not, I didn't really like how it turned out. Just for fun's sake, I can show you how it was before I worked on it. So above is before and below is after. So I really didn't like how the perspective was going there. It looked really off. So I kind of tried to correct that. I still kept the same characters in the back, although it's probably a little bit off, but it's gonna do at least for now. So I might change the two guys later on, because you know, if you think about it, they're probably way too small. They're like wouldn't touch the ground if they're like that, but yeah. So what I could do is lower, but I like lower the two characters, but then I really like how the entire face was inside the frame, how these characters were cut like this. So I could like reduce their size a little bit, see what that would do. It would probably make more sense logically, but you know, sometimes composition is more important than logic in my mind anyway. Guess it does make more sense to have them a little bit smaller. That means I need to redo the color blocking, but that's not really. It's better to. It's not really long to do, and it's better to do it now than. And I might need to ink them again because now the line is really thin. Although it might be fine. It is a good thing to have thinner lines in the background. So I think probably doing it this way makes them seem a little bit less off than they were. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep it that way. So I did have a mask on this, so that means that part of the character was drawn as well, so I can remove that. And then what I would do is we just remove maybe just fill in with the blue, and then I can go back in and all right. So now the trick is trying to match the line size. So what I think I'm gonna do is create a first of all a sketch outline. It does help rather than going directly into ink. So I just want to maybe remove the couch first. It'll be a bit easier. And this, yeah. So that I can draw the. I'll leave it as an outline just to know where it is, very lightly, like this. And then I'm just gonna draw those two nurses. And drawing the full thing helps you to see. I kind of noticed some things here. So by drawing the full character here, I probably can make it a little bit more symmetrical. If I draw like a line down the middle of the two of them, kind of helps me to position every part of their bodies better. Drawing behind like this is important to if I don't do that, then I'm gonna guess where the line ends, and that creates a lot of mistakes actually that are pretty hard to spot. I guess with experience you see them less, but I would recommend you to at least draw a sketch of your character when he's standing behind something else. Like the character in the back, I think I'm gonna draw the character in the front and then the one in the back with a different color, so that will help me to make sure I draw something that makes sense. Even here, I mean, you want the leg, you kind of want to draw the whole the whole hip here so that you know where things are stopping. See, I can probably like raise this a little bit. I thought I was going to show you how I do shadows, but this is interesting too. Well, if anyone wants me to skip ahead and not do this, I can also go through shadows, so just chime in. If not, I'll just continue with this. I should be able to finish this page by the time the stream ends. This panel, I mean. Okay. So these legs, you won't see them at all because they're behind the couch, but it's not bad to just draw an outline of where they would be. Okay, so now my guy in the front is done. I'll take another color and just do the outline of the guy in the back. And layers are free, so I'm gonna use another one. So no human body is perfectly symmetrical, but if I didn't use that, it would be worse. Let's see. Well, that's good too. You can draw like a horizontal line as well to kind of see where your errors are. See, I was completely off here. It's very easy to make these kind of mistakes. So again, it's good to draw things standing behind other things just to make sure that you're aligned correctly. Looks fairly good. As you see, having the outline here kind of helped me to, you know, I don't really need to draw the bottom. I think since I had the other one beside it, I don't think it's necessary. But at least having that outline kind of helps me to judge where I need to focus a little bit more. So now I have my two sketches. And, okay, I'm gonna try and like just continue inking this. I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out. I see that my eraser was a bit off, so rather than just doing a little part of it, I'm just gonna redo the entire line. It'll probably be easier that it looks unified like this. Just draw the front part first. And I'm trying to be mindful of the rest of my line so that they kind of match the width, the thickness of the line. You know, doing my sketch, I noticed that this part of my drawing was off, so might as well fix it. if I don't, every time I'm looking at this, I will say, ah, why didn't I bother fixing this? It's not hard, right? And it's all a technique, it's all fixable. Just a matter of facing the million things that you need to do. So none of the steps are that big, it's just that together it just takes a long time to make a comic like that. So in case you're wondering, this is close to halfway the entire storyline that I'm making, and there is a sequel after that, but it tells from the interface it's about halfway done when this is over. So it's kind of an achievement to have been reached there. I would have drawn 150, 120, 175. Wait. $125 pages about. But I think I am improving and finding a process that works for me and trying to be, oh, I didn't put enough detail in the hand here. Let me correct this rather than guessing. So yes, I think I am starting to find a process that works for me. And it's the balance between continuous improvement and settling. So I don't want to settle to any specific way of doing things, because then I know that I'll stop improving. But I want to get to a point where I can produce consistent things at a high quality. I think then when you stop, oh, I don't even need to draw this in. I think at one point when you become good enough, you might say that you don't see the point in trying to find new ways of improving yourself, since the work you put out is already very good quality. I think if you do that, even if it's true, I think it might end up being a bit boring, never changing your way of doing things. But I guess it's a craft, right? So let's say I'm making pottery, and people expect a certain kind of pottery from me. If I don't give them what they want, then they might not come back for it, I guess. Just thinking out loud. We had a very hot week here in Montreal. We're sweating a lot in our little office here. home office. But this week is supposed to be a lot cooler. Like half cooler. So it should be very comfortable. I'm just a little bit worried about the plants outside. You know, they've been seeing like the hot weather and say, oh, it's summer, it's full summer, let's come out. But then they get some wave of cold like that and they, yeah, what the hell? So I am a bit concerned that some of them might be a little bit shocked by the sun and cold. But thankfully it won't last too long, so I think most of them will be okay. But I think I will bring in some of the more exotic plants. Watched a bit of Transformer this morning with my daughter. It was quite fun. So there is this episode where Galvatron is being sent to a psychiatric planet, and they're trying to cure him. And of course, it doesn't work, right? It's pretty funny to see all the treatments they try, and in the end they solve nothing. Of course. Like and then the caretakers of the planet are like, they look like they're from Planet of the Apes mixed with some weird sci-fi elements. Seemed like the guys that were working on that didn't really have a lot of direction on some of these concepts. They pretty much did whatever they wanted. It was cool though. The episode after that, I quite enjoyed it. It was kind of a throwback to some earlier episode. Saw a lot of character that didn't get any scenes for a while. Like it was Starscream. It's the ghost. It's the Starscream ghost story. So like Starscream is trying to Melody Rancourt, I think, is the woman who makes this comic. I met her in some events before, in some conventions. She if that's the one I think it is, she makes a comic about I think no, that's Sylvie Rancourt, Melody Rancourt. I don't know that, but well, that's the thing. So Sylvie Rancourt, if I remember correctly, was a stripper, and then she started making her own comic that what she would sell at her, where she was working, and that was in the I believe late 70s or early 80s, something like that. So you know, exactly in smack in the middle of the underground scene, and one of our characters was called Melody. So Mledzyanko, I believe it must be her. So yeah, sure, I'll accept that friend request. Met her a few times in cons. She's a nice woman. I think I heard somebody doing a kind of a remake of the Earth stories, or continuing more stories or something like that, because they were redone. She originally drew them herself, and then it was redrawn by another artist that I met as well, and I am having a blank. Forgot his name. That's annoying. But he was also big in the underground scene, and I've seen him in cons as well many times. Very talented artist. Okay, well, I think they turned out pretty good. So what I'm gonna do, I don't want to erase anything, so I will just group them into a folder, put a mask on that folder, and just hide the part I don't need. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's weird the way this works. I kind of got used to the way Photoshop work with masks. It's like black. If you draw black, you're erasing. If you draw white, you're drawing. So this works pretty much the same way, except that you need to delete, and then it deletes it. And I deleted too much. But then to fill, you need to draw black. So I don't know, but logically you see the mask the same way Photoshop does it. So it's a little bit confusing to me. You know, just do it one way or the other. I think Photoshop's way is a little bit clearer. I mean, I really like the functionalities of Clip Paint, but sometimes some of the features, or not the features, but the UI is a little bit weird. It's not intuitive. It might be, as I said, because I've been using Photoshop too long, but still doesn't feel like it's supposed to work like that. Same thing with gradients. It works a little bit weird. I mean, everything's there. It all works. Just the way to do it sometimes is a little bit weird. Okay. So now I put in my. Okay, this will be blocked so I don't accidentally draw on it. I have my layer here. Second layer, good. Okay, I'll bring back my other panels. coffee. Here's our free, so I'll put my aliens on another layer. Am I doing refer other layers? Am I something? So why it doesn't fit? Why? What am I doing wrong here? Okay. Oh, okay, so there was some blue there. That's why. Let me get rid of that blue. I really don't need it. Okay. So, if you didn't see my videos on color blocking, it is a fairly simple process. Just tap the zone and fill in. Well, that's how it works in Clip Paint. In Photoshop, it's almost the same, but you get yeah. Okay, so in case you didn't see my other videos explaining it, what's great about Clip Paint Studio is that it fills in under the stroke line, so that you see where I'm using a different tool, but I'm selecting inside the stroke line, and this is very important when you're printing. Otherwise, you're gonna get tons of little white specks around the lines. So this fill tool, the paint bucket tool, what does that? It doesn't just fill exactly on the line, it goes a little bit under, and then you can control how much under. And you can also control tolerance for holes in your lines. So let's say this ear there that's going out a bit, if you noticed, it didn't go and fill the entire background because I gave it the tolerance. But now it bled a bit out, which is the downside. But this is adjustable, so depending on your setting of your paint bucket tool, you can adjust that. Yeah, so I love that tool. It makes it a lot easier. So this is the first great tool for color blocking, and the second great tool is the lasso that I just used. So this is a lasso that you do have in Photoshop, but it works exactly. The lasso here that I have selected works exactly like the one in Photoshop, but they have this, we call it what? We call it a lasso fill. So it's like a double tool where it automatically fills with whatever color you have in your selected. So instead of having to fill after selecting, it just fills in directly, which makes a lot of sense for comic artists. That's pretty much what they want to do, right? I guess in Photoshop, selecting like that is not having an automatic select is not necessarily something that people will want off the bat, so it makes sense. It would be nice that if there were a setting like this, but no. So I think that's one of the two biggest reasons why I started working with Clip Paint Studio. It just makes it a lot easier to not have to do those extra steps every single time. Yeah. So if you're using the paint bucket, you cannot just use the paint bucket in Photoshop. You need to use the magic wand, and then you need to expand your selection. So there's no shortcut for that. You need to create your own through the automation. So you can do it. You're gonna have an extra step or you need to assign a key. So it won't take you too much longer, but it's annoying. And there's other great things in the built-in clipping that I really enjoy, such as but this is the EX version, so it comes with layout tools, so I can make all my panels very easily. I can expand them, retract them, do all kind of good stuff. So yeah, there's a lot going for it. You know, I was supposed to use a different. No, it's fine. Yeah, there's a lot going for this program for comic artists. So, you know, it took me a while before I decided to give it a shot, but I don't regret it. So, you know, do as you like. But trust me, you're gonna save time if you do that. There's a line here that's not supposed to be there. So for this kind of long line like this, the paint bucket really doesn't work very well. So I do use the lasso tool here. But you see, you can adjust that, but often there's a limitation to how good it is with sharp edges like that. I think there is some ways of making this a little bit easier. I think I read about it. Didn't completely understand. Sorry about that. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I do want it on a separate layer because I want to make some effect on them, like they're in the back. So I am going to hide the ink, select the pink and the green, and then I'm gonna use my lasso and just select what I don't have, pressing shift so that I add to my selection, cut, and paste. Now I have an extra layer. This is with the people, so if I so I can merge these two together, put them behind the couch. There you go. Put back my ink. So what I want to do here, I'm gonna start working on the shadows for this panel. First of all, the background. And then it's going to be from this kind of color to this. Yeah, see what that does. I'll keep my flat behind. Sometimes it's good to keep your flat so that you have a way to quickly select the zone. So it didn't do anything. Maybe I had a selection. Oh, it's a gradient erase. Okay. I want a foreground to background. So here, this. Oh, okay, just select whatever color is in my foreground there. Okay. So this I want it to be a bit darker. Yeah. It's saturated. Okay. And maybe the top, I want to tint it with some color. Maybe into greener. I might adjust the transparency as after. Just get more blue in there. How does that work? Oops, opposite. Might be too bold, but as I said, I can. Let's see with the stuff on top. With the stuff on top, it's not too bad. I think I'm gonna reduce the. See, this is full. I'm just gonna lower it a little bit. Just create a little bit more life here. Okay, that's good for that. So I want to have something that applies only to these dudes. So what I do is I create a clipping mask. I need a new layer first, and then a clipping mask. And then what I'm gonna do is foreground transparent. I want a brownish kind of hue. Yeah. It's gonna be really dark, but I'm gonna. So should it be like that, or more like this? Just notice I forgot a little bit piece here. Oh, forgot to color this. Kind of want to find my sketch layers now, because I'm having doubts. So there should be his hand here. Yeah. I'm gonna take my sketch layer, put it on top so that I can see what I'm doing. this shouldn't be here. It should be here. Oh, I didn't color this part, I think. That's it. Okay. So yeah, that should be something like that. Just a general tone. Should be. Maybe it's too much. So my question is it better? Yeah. So I'm gonna put additional shadows, but having a general gradient down like this is, I think, works pretty well generally. I do like color burn as well. Often it creates a nice kind of, maybe not in this case. Yeah. That's what I did for the for this. I really like that, how that green came out. So probably. Let me see how I can color these guys now. Try to just put some shadows. So I do like to use a dark, kind of dark brown for it. And then maybe I can start with the fodder. That's the annoying part. If you want to have your color, you need to. Well, I guess I could set up a swatch for shadows, but now I kind of have to undo my settings to go get the proper brown so that it matches. Having it darker like that does help though, to see if you missed a spot. All right, it's been it's been an hour. I didn't really see the time fly by. Yeah, so I mean, this panel is advancing fairly well. I think it's starting to look good. Yeah, I always like making those color highlights. Always bring a lot of life to a drawing. So I'll be continuing with that next week. Of course, during the week I'll pop up now and then to share some of my current work in progress. So with that said, if you're watching this in a replay, just comment and I'll try to answer your questions. I always appreciate likes, subscribes, shares, all that good stuff. I like to hear from you, so please don't be shy. And that being said, I wish you the best of weekends, and I'll see you again very soon. Goodbye.